Hi, my name's David Lee. Today's topic is called Becoming a Business 5%er. Now, I want to say that everything in this presentation is based on my experience seeing people wanting to develop their own business. I've broken it into three parts: what proportions succeed, where it goes wrong, and finally, how to improve the odds. Let's get started. What proportions succeed? Now, I've seen with my own eyes many people wanting to start out in business, in a variety of businesses, working for themselves or in a team with one or two other people, small business owners, and they've had training and they go out, they have the theory, but they don't do anything. And that makes up a good proportion. 80% I've seen people really do nothing or very little. It remains theoretical and never gets off the ground at all, and it all folds very quickly. I've next seen that there is a proportion that will go out and attempt to implement their business idea, but they fail. There's something that's missing, and what I foresee myself is they lack enough foundation skills that makes it very difficult and challenging for them, because they're going into new territory and they really feel lost at sea, not knowing what they have to do. Next, we get to partial success, which is 5% in my eyes. I've seen people that have had training, they've been to a seminar, they know what to do, they follow the steps. It could be a system that they've got to implement, and they do it to some degree of success, but it is not on an ongoing basis. They get up and running, they can see that it works, they may get some sales coming through, whatever, but it soon doesn't continue, it stops. But there is a small minority, which I call the 5%ers, that do achieve ongoing success. Now, why is that? And that's what I'd really like to discuss. Why is it that such a limited few become a 5%er, and even less a 2%er, which is to get very good success on an ongoing basis that becomes a lifestyle? So that's the proportions I see as being succeeding. And it is disheartening for me, as I've had to guide many people and I see them falling by the wayside where I don't believe it's necessary. Part two, where it goes wrong. Now, that photograph you see in front of you is the person that's got the business, and the hook, what they really wanted was the money. And the money is what drives them. And the more they think about the money, the more they concentrate on it and think and focus less on the business. And it does become a temptation. It does become a stress that if you're not achieving the money, and the more you think about it, sometimes the harder it is to get the money. And many people that I have observed are working out of desperation. They need the money sooner rather than later, and it is therefore an obsession to achieve it, and they are very much missing the big picture. The big picture meaning the foundation steps in their business, and it is a distraction. And the part three, how to improve the odds. And this is where I mention, if you look at this chart that I've developed myself, rather than seeing the quick money, a business, especially starting out in business as a small business owner, an entrepreneur, you need foundations. And let me put the dividing line in there. I believe that no matter what business that you're in, if you're a small business entrepreneur, you need what you see below the dividing line for any business. You need the business and emotional mindset as a basic foundation. If you've got problems in your personal life, it will transmit into your business life, and vice versa. You really need to be very understanding of what you've got to do on a business sense. When I talk about being an entrepreneur, sometimes you have to go against your natural instincts and be used to it. It is like driving on ice sometimes. You have to brake in the opposite direction. You have to learn to take your foot off and on the brake, so you will steer the vehicle straight. And people are not doing that. They're holding their foot down on the brake, and it is a different result. Next, you have the business systems and infrastructure. You have to develop these systems before you get going. Even if you're doing all the tasks yourself, somebody has to do these roles and identify these roles as separate tasks within the business. Essential for any business is the next step, which is communications, branding, and marketing. The words that come out of your mouth, the logo that represents who you are, the message to market, you must get it clear and precise, and you must understand any hidden objections that are out there. There's no point in delivering a message that's incorrect to the market and therefore wondering forever why they don't respond. Next, as you develop your specific business above the line, you need specific systems and processes that are relevant to your industry. It could be qualifications, it could be procedures that you have to follow, whether by government, whether by law that you have to know and understand. Followed by, next is the specific strategies to what you're developing. It could be a service industry, it could be delivering a product, and there have to be strategies for delivering that product. And finally, and what people focus on first but should be last, it is the product or service being delivered. What is the widget that you are offering? Understand everything that else underpins that product or service. You need to have a funnel coming in, people finding you. You need an after-sales service, otherwise you lose business, and you need a follow-up system. And this is where I see so many people go wrong. So please take a look at this, understand it. This is the summary of what I've just covered. What proportions succeed, and unfortunately it is not very high, 5%. Please become a 5%er and build that system. Where it goes wrong, and I showed you the money is a great temptation and gets people off track when they focus on the money and not the business. And finally, how to improve the odds. Yes, I showed you the graph, the chart that I've developed myself. Connect with me. My name's David Lee, and I will deliver more information in these video blogs that will help you and your business. Thank you very much.